Let's take a look at another black box from my movie collection, 1938 to 1941. These are. This is volume 30, I think, in my movie collection. Bob's movie collection. Let's see what we got here. We got Torchy, Get Your Man, 1938, Glenda Farrell. Torchy Blaine in Chinatown, 1938, Glenda Farrell. I think there's a series of movies, Torchy movies. I think there's 5 of them. Could be more, but at least that. There's a series, a few of them. Blondes at Work, Glenda Farrell, 1938. Out West with the Hardys, 1938, Mickey Rooney. I think this is number 5. Out West with the Hardys. Tarzan's Revenge, 1938, Glenn Morris. The Drum, Sabu, 1938. The Sisters, Betty Davis, 1938. Three Comrades, Robert Taylor and Robert Young. Yeah, 1938. A Christmas Carol, Reginald Owen, 1938. You're Only Young Once, 1938, Andy Hardy, number 2 in the series. You're Only Young Once, 1938, with Mickey Rooney. Love is a Headache, Mickey Rooney, 1938. Pretty sure that's Andy Hardy too. Having Wonderful Time, 1938, Ginger Rogers. Stablemate, Mickey Rooney, Stablemates, 1938. Brother Rat, 1938, Priscilla Lane and Wayne Morris. St. Martin's Lane, Vivian Leigh, Rex Harrison. These are British movies, I think. St. Martin's Lane, 1938, yeah, Vivian Leigh. And this one's 1945. The Citadel, Robert Downey and Rosalind Russell. And this one is The Rakes Progressed, Rex Harrison and Lily Palmer, 1945. So there's 3 movies on that one. Four Daughters, Claude Rains and John Garfield, 1938. I think there's another movie involving the girls, I think. So much to remember, Bob. I know. Talking to myself. The Story of Irene and Vernon Castle, 1939. I think this is the last one that Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers did together. I think they might have done another one much later after this. But The Story of Irene and Vernon Castle. Yeah. Fifth Avenue Girl, 1939. Ginger Rogers. Bachelor Mother, 1939. Ginger Rogers. Made for Each Other, 1939. James Stewart and Carol Lombard. Secret Service of the Air, Ronald Reagan, 1939. Daughters Courageous, John Garfield and Claude Rains. That's the other one with the daughters. Yeah, John Garfield. Yeah, that's the other one. Ninchagda. I can't even pronounce this one. Nanota Chaka? I don't know. I can say it in my head, but I can't say it out loud. Greta Garbo, Melvyn Douglas, 1939. Greta Garbo. Confessions of a Nazi Spy, 1939. Edward G. Robinson and Francis Lederer. Babes in Arms, Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland, 1939. It's a Wonderful World, 1939. Claudette Colbert. Judge Hardy and Son. Andy Hardy Gets Spring Fever, Mickey Rooney, 1939. 1939. Flying Deuces, 1939. Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. The Hardys Ride Again. (1939). Blind Alley, Chester Morris and Nobrak, 1939. The Woman, Norma Shearer and Joan Crawford, 1939. The Hound of Baskerville, 1939. Basil Rathbone. Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Basil Rathbone, 1939. Golden Boy, Barbara Stanwyck. Union Pacific, Barbara Stanwyck, 1939. Young Mr. Lincoln, Henry Fonda, 1939. Huckleberry Finn, Mickey Rooney, 1939. Dodge City, Errol Flynn, 1939. Four Wives, Priscilla Lane, 1939. Four Mothers, 1941, Priscilla Lane. Tarzan Finds a Son, Johnny Weissmuller, 1939. Saga of Death Valley, Roy Rogers, 1939. The Four Feathers, 1939. His Girl Friday, Rosalind Russell, 1940. The Shop Around the Corner, James Stewart, 1940. Flight Command, Robert Taylor, 1940. The Great McGitney, 1940, Brian Dunleavy. Till We Meet Again, Merle O'Brien, George Brent. All This in Heaven Too, Betty Davis, 1940. Remember the Night, Fred McMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, 1940. Very good movie. Very good. A Fugitive from Justice, Roger Pryor, 1940. Dr. Kildare Goes Home, Lou Ayres, 1940. Strike Up the Band, 1940. Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. Young Tom Edison, Mickey Rooney, Fay Bainter, 1940. Torrid Zone, 1940. Kings Row, 1942. Torrid Zone, 1940. Ann Sheridan, James Cagney, Pat O'Brien. Kings Row, Ann Sheridan, Robert Cummings, and Ronald Reagan, 1940, 1942. Guy with a Grin, James Stewart, Rosalind Russell, 1940. The Seahawk, Errol Flynn, 1940. Waterloo Bridge, Vivian Lee, Robert Taylor. His Girl Friday, Gary Grant, Rosalind Russell. Colin Fellow Vance, 1940. Dr. Kildare's Crisis. Lou Ayres, Lionel Barrymore, 1940. Virginia City, Errol Flynn, Miriam Hopkins, 1940. The Westerner, 1940, Gary Cooper. Edison the Man, Spencer Tracy, 1940. My Favorite Wife, Cary Grant, it's a C-A-R-Y. Even actually, I write it down as G for some reason. I just can't. It's a C, Gary Grant. I know I'm bad. I know what I'm doing, but I still mess it up. My Favorite Wife. Yeah, this is a color version. I think I've seen the black and white version, but they've showed the color version, so I guess it's all right. It's not bad, but it's not, black and white's always the best. Broadway Melody of 1940, Fred Astaire, Eleanor Powell. Go West, Big Store, 1940 and 1941, the Marx Brothers. The Bride Came, CLD, Betty Davis and James Cagney, 1941. Buck Privates, Bride I'm Cowboy, 1941 and 1942, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. They Died with Their Boots On, Errol Flynn, 1941. The People versus Dr. Kildare, Lou Ayres, 1941. Sullivan's Travels, Joel McRae, 1941. $1 Million Baby, Priscilla Lane, 1941. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Robert Montgomery and Carl Lombard, 1941. I think Alfred Hitchcock directed this. Dr. Kildare's Wedding Day, 1941. Tarzan's Secret Treasure, 1941, Johnny Weissmuller. The Uncertain Feeling, That Uncertain Feeling, 1941, Merle Oberon, and Melvin Douglas. I'm not sure if I got a couple of these, the same ones or not. Mr. and Mrs. North, Gracie Ellen and William Post, 1941. Affectionately Yours, 1941, Merle Oberon, Dennis Morgan. Hi Sarah, Humphrey Bogart, 1941, Ida Lupino, very good movie. Andy Hardy's Private Secretary, 1941. Andy Hardy meets Dabney, 1940. I butchered the words, Bob. Can't talk. Blossoms in the Sun, 1941. This is a good movie too. Greer Garson, Walter Pidgeon. Dangerously They Live, 1941, John Garfield. Secret Command, Pat O'Brien, 1941. The Shepherd of the Hills, John Wayne, 1941. A different kind of John Wayne movie. Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1941. Spencer Tracy, Ingrid Bergman, and Lena Turner. Meet John Doe, Barbara Stanwyck, Gary Cooper, 1941. The Getaway, Donna Reed, 1941. New York Town, Fred McMurray, 1941. Shadow of a Thin Man, Donna Reed. Shadow of a Thin Man, yeah, that's Thin Man. What's his name's in that? Donna Reed, yeah. Courtship of Andy Hardy, 1942, yes. Mickey Rooney and Donna Reed. Yes. One of our aircrafts is missing. Lust for Life, Kirk Douglas, 1956. This is 56. One of our aircrafts is missing, 1941. I didn't put down who stars in that one for some reason. No, I messed that one up. Forget who stars in that. The Maltese Falcon, Humphrey Bogart, 1941. I also have this on a DVD. All right, 9 Lives Are Not Enough. Ronald Reagan, 1941. And that's it. Volume 30. From the box. Talk to you later.